How's up, everyone? It's your boy, a Talking Marshmallow. And today I'll be talking about the wonderful and long-awaited Distant Counter Refinery. Well, long-awaited, but disappointed maybe a little bit. Because we've been following this formula of, oh hey, let's get +3, +4, +5 to all stats from just scratching our balls. And this is the kind of stuff that's been happening lately, and this is what they pass for Refinery these days. So mechanics, in my opinion, are still most important, but these stats are sorely needed for some of these characters. Why don't we start off with Ike? So everybody knows my favorite character, Magic Ike. Now, Magic Ike now is a much more powerful character because of his Resplendent. In fact, if you were to stack all of his speed together and yada yada yada, Resplendent and the Summoner support, he gets up to like 45 speed. Pretty impressive stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say, it's a super fast, but it is competitive enough so that you could just attach some speed and your A slot, which he can, because hey, guess what? I've got a Distant Counter Weapon. Then he would actually be a far more competitive character than he, has been for the past few years. He's been kind of laid on the wayside. Even when he got his Resplendent, I was kind of like, I mean, I could just give him like something along the lines of Spurn, and he'll be great. But now he can be even better. And that's because with his Refinery, he gets 4 to all stats, which, incidentally, are all stats that he'll need. And that's the most important thing. I've been preaching this a million times. It's like, if you have a Distant Counter Weapon, you gotta have good resistance. If you don't have good resistance, Distant Counter's wasted on you. Or, in some people's cases, have damage reduction. Although damage reduction is probably going to continually get countered. At this current moment, the current counters aren't so bad. The only one you really need to worry about is really just Leith with his wonderful 50% damage reduction built into his weapon. Damage reduction built into his weapon. And Legendary Claude. Legendary Claude can get his 2 attacks in no matter what, because he has no follow-up built into his weapon. And no follow-up is amazing and always cool and something that is sorely needed since the ages of 2017. Because nowadays, everybody's like, oh yeah, here, I got this ability to stop you from doubling, or I've got this ability to, to double all the time. Well, no follow-up will now stop this nonsense, and that is something that honestly, I could use, and I could now free up the slot for his B to do such a thing, because his resistance with the 4 to all stats is actually pretty decent, especially since he could, for example, if he were to give himself an A slot, such as, let's say, one of those stances, one of those, like, resistance and speed stances, there he goes. He not only has guard built into it, because we power crept to the point that we have every color of that, and since that wonderful stance now has guard, you get that B slot freed up. So infantry, as we all know, is in a very good spot, and now we have more and more toys for him to use. So now Magic Ike is incredibly competitive character. Though, I want to say that God Beelith still has a bit more, because he has that built into his weapon. Though Guard, I think, is always going to be something that is worth looking into. I'm always a huge fan of Guard. But anyway, I'm going off a tangent on Guard again, because it's like every build of mine tends to have a Guard, because I really think that the current meta has a lot of interesting B skills. And when you have interesting B skills, you don't have room for guard. Only certain characters who are broken as all hell, like the new Ado guard, has guard built into it. She's got special fighter, and then that raging storm built into her weapon. Yeah, it's a little stupid, and a perfect example of why I don't really like this game anymore, because it's like every time every time a new group of characters appear, we get the wonderful video, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden, oh, hey, look at all this text. It's like, I don't even want to look at them anymore. They give me a headache. Every time I look at that, it's like, oh my god, I don't even want to look at new characters anymore, because it's like, you know that they're going to be broken. You know that they're going to be stupid. And we've gotten to the point of power creep that it's like, if a character isn't like this, or that, and this and that, and this and that and that and that, they're simply not worth using. Or at least that's what they'd like you to think. And despite the fact that I am kind of disappointed with Ike's refinery, I think that the -1 cooldown that it came with is actually very useful. Consider this. I mean, we have a recent update for Super Magic Ike, which is Legendary Ike, and he's already gotten the Radiant Aether 2, and Radiant Aether 2, as you know, allows him to starts off with 2 charges off already. So basically, with that and his weapon, he's looking at a 1-charge Radiant Aether, which is pretty impressive. Though, I'm not too convinced of Legendary Ike at the moment, unless he gets a Resplendent, and getting a Legendary unit to have a Resplendent at this time is a little lopsided. I mean, they probably might do it, because as we know, the intelligence system has this stupid tendency of favoring characters. They favor characters a little too much. Like, for example, what happened with Ephraim. Ephraim has like a million different forms. He has a lot of different refines, a lot of different this, a lot of different that. He's just competitive all around, because Ephraim, Dev really likes him. And then we have Hector and his million refines. It's like I've seen people talk on like Reddit and like GameFAQs and shit like that, and they're all like, oh, you shouldn't compare your refines to that of Hector. Yeah, people are spoiled because of Hector's refine. No. Well, guess what, dude? I mean, look at this shit. This guy just got all this crap, and I don't even think he probably deserved it like that much. It's like in comparison, you've got Ragnell here with like, I've got this special trigger and 4 to all stats. Oh boy, I'm so impressed. This is like something that you would see in like 2019. But hey, he has Distant Counter built in. Well, you know what? Look, dude. Fucking Hector. He you know what? His Distant Counter has attack and defense built in as well. And he's got that on top of all those fun effects that he has. So, Hector is really, truly deplorable. But I can kind of understand, because he's a CYL unit, and CYL units should be somewhat special. But anyway, I'm going off a little off tangent here, because I tend to rant about these things. I get really when it comes to power creep, because it's just, it's not. I want to appreciate this game as a strategy game, but it's since the second or third year, it's no longer that. It's more or less just a game where you just kind of get the latest character, put all kinds of stupid shit on them, and then all of a sudden they're the best character in the game. Before, I mean, it's about finding certain skills and certain things that works, and then make them into the strongest character in the entire game. That is one of my favorite things to do, and that is what I make videos for. But now, characters are so strong, like, out of the box. It's like their options are very limited. It's like, hey, you just put this, you just put that, and there, done. Your character is finished. It's like, well, what would you put on Hector? I guess I'll put a special fighter on him. I'll give him bold fighter maybe. But besides those, it's like he's pretty much set. It's like, well, what else would you put on him? It's like any creativity that you have in this game is gone, because your characters are so set in a certain direction. But with regards to Ragnell's update, though, I think that because Ike is an infantry unit, he has a lot more interesting and colorful choices to pick. As for how competitive, though, the 1 cooldown reduction does allow his Aether to be at 4. Legendary Ike is a little bit different, but Legendary Ike, his stats could use some work, but unfortunately we do have the 4 to all stats. Still, I think he's due for a Resplendent, but I don't know when, because I don't want to say it's a good idea to bring him out too soon either. But if he gets a Resplendent, I think that his stats will be a lot more usable and more competitive. But for the time being, let's focus on the regular Ike. So if he were to -1 cooldown, if he gives himself a breath, then he can perform like as if he had Radiant Aether, which is pretty much all he really needs. Because consider the fact that he has so much speed, well, a good amount of speed, 45 before buffs and all that, really is quite good. Let's give him something like, I don't know, Darting Breath or something like that, and a couple other things that, like some kind of stance that gives him speed and yada yada yada, and give him no follow-up. Bam! There you go. Now you have this Aether dishing machine, and with his stats, he can take hits and he can do all that fun stuff as Magic Ike does, and he'll be fine. Sometimes damage reduction isn't the answer. You don't just slap damage reduction unless you're super ultimate goddamn super fucking bike. Supreme Ultimate God King Bike. Yes, there we go. So Supreme Ultimate God King Bike would be one thing, because you stack damage reduction on top of damage reduction, you tank everything in the entire game. It really is something that I've been using for the past 2 or 3 years with no failure whatsoever. I'm still using him in Aether Raids. I'm still, getting to tier 38, 39 easily. Well, maybe not 39, man. 39's a little harder these days because see, my mythic units are a bit of a mess. I don't have any merges for them because I've lost a lot of taste for this game. So as a result, I don't summon for mythics, especially offensive mythics, to stack for points. And defense, defense you use them to shave points. So you kind of just need like 1 or 2 copies for defense instead of like 11 copies, unless you really like that unit, you want to do this. Specific things with them, but for the most part, it's like, you know what, I'll just get by with 1 or 2, it's fine. I just need to get to tier 38, not a big deal. Oh, maybe sometimes I can't make 38 because, there's something happens, I fell asleep. And, I realized then that, hey, what the hell's even the point? It's like anything above 28, you get like a sizable increase, and after that, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dragon flowers extra. It's not a big deal. Oh, I'm so I gotta stop going through this. Like even my face is frozen, so I'm just gonna stop ranting about that now. So anyway, that said, that cooldown reduction, as I keep saying, is really nice. Even though it's really boring, it just fits into his kit very well, and that is the reason why. Despite the fact that it's one of the most boring refined, I'll let it slide. Because you know what? It's fair and it works, and it gives him a very the flexibility that he really needed. And that said, Burger King himself with his Alondite comes with, hey, guess what? The same upgrades. But everybody knows that, hey, we've used Burger King with Slaying Edge so that he can have like the 2-charge Black Luna, and Black Luna rips the hell out of people, even now to this day. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same boat as Ike. You just give him like a fucking breath or some shit, and then you're shitting Black Luna as soon as somebody hits you. And Black Luna hurts a whole ton. So there's really nothing much more to discuss in terms of Burger King. I love Burger King a lot, and I hope he gets a Resplendent, because he's due for that for a long time. What's his stats? It's like 167 BST, I think, or something like that. He's like Gen 1 armor BST, so he's due for that. I don't know what he'll look like. Maybe he'll... You know how, like, in Vile and, like, Mega Man X, he like, when he comes back in, like, 2, or no, I don't think he comes back in 2. In Mega Man X3, he has, like, these wonderful design on his armor, and in Mega Man X8, he comes back with green armor with a set of wonderful designs, so maybe he'll do that as well with his wonderful Burger King face that looks like Vile. And Vile is so cool, dude. I want to play Mega Man X again. But right now, I'm focused on Dynasty Warriors, Empires, and etc., etc. Anyway, we go off tangent, but really, that's really all there is to talk about in terms of Alondite. It's just blah, 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 blah. blah. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, oh, well, maybe we can give him Bolt Fighter. Hey, Bolt Fighter would be kind of nice, but Bolt Fighter would give you a Black Luna regardless anyway. Maybe we could... Yeah, nah, not really. There's a Breath. Breath Alondite is more that others we could really use. Just give him, like, Wrath, for example, on his B slot. Oh my god, dude, that'll hurt so bad, they die instantaneously. Ooh, B, not even a challenge, no problem. So there you have it. That's Alondite. Anyway, now we move on to Lobster with his Rajin Dao. Now that one is really good. You know, I've always talked about how no follow-up is so great and it's like the best possible thing, and it makes God be the strongest character in the entire game. Well, there you have it. That's what he gets. If he has the -1 cooldown, oh my lord, that would be a nightmare. But he doesn't. He gets a 4 to all stats, which is fine. You know what? I don't know, you know, if he gets a Resplendent, he gets stats all across the board. And everybody knows what I think about the whole infantry flexibility nonsense. And then you have Legendary Lobster. Oh my god. See, Legendary Lobster is something that is just deplorable. And I probably don't need to waste too much of your time about that one. It's like, oh yeah, I get 7 extra damage. I've got this damage reduction, blah, 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 blah. I'm so good, I'm such a powerful skill. Hey, guess what? My fucking Legendary Ike doesn't get any of that nonsense. God damn it, Legendary Ike, why can't you be a little bit better? Oh, yeah, I just -2 cooldowns. Oh, that's so great. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyone can do that. It's like you just give like a couple infantry pulses, hey, you're done. You got your skill off right away. I've seen people consider special Spyro on Legendary Ike. I'm like, oh my god, dude, Legendary Ike, come on, man, that's not a good skill to use on him. He's a guy who could use some damage reduction or something like that because he's a tank and he's kind of slow. He's not going to be as fast as regular Ike because he doesn't get his Resplendent. He's fat and slow, yada yada yada. Takes extra damage from magic. It's just one of these things where, you know, I feel upset because I invested a lot in Legendary Ike because, well, I like Ike. And Flying Lobster? Not really. I mean, now he went from the worst Legendary to the best Legendary because of all this fun and exciting upgrades for him. And he waited 25 turns for that. But still, isn't that a little much? God damn it. It's like, I know that not all units are made equal, but fuck, man, come on, give Legendary Ike some slack. I've been waiting a long time for his little update, and all he gets is this cute little Radiant Aether. And his refinery doesn't help him as much with it either. Anyway, so there's really not much else I can really talk about Lobster, because Lobster is just whatever, dude. Everybody knows he's strong. Yeah. Now, Siegfried, in terms of our wonderful pal Xander, is very, very desirable. Now, that is something that is worthwhile. I mean, it's nothing new or anything. I mean, you just inflict attack def -5. You got foe cannot make a counter attack, follow-up attack, blah, 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 blah. Hey, look, where have you seen this before? Oh, hey, guess what? A lot of fucking characters do that. But it is something that Xander desperately needed. And it makes him into a far more useful character. As opposed to his brother. Oh, the poor Leo. The poor Leo. He has the similar technique. But hey, guess what? Leo has the misfortune of getting his refinery too soon. So yeah, what does Leo do again? If I recall correctly, if you have more dev, oh, then you can do that. It's not like he has a lot of stats to begin with. Leo is just a very, very unfortunate character. Xander, though, with attack dev -5, he's just as good as having 4 to all stats, really. And instead of 5, it's 5 to all stats minus the speed part. And, you know, he doesn't need speed anyway because he's slow and fat. So, Siegfried, there it is. Okay, now we will finally end with Joseph Hardin, one of my favorite characters, because he looks like, well, a great communist leader that with eyes, and everybody makes jokes about that. And he's so communist that he has now the ability to Ooh, get 4 to all stats. Oh, where have I seen that before? Oh, hey, guess what? He also restores 7 HP if he gets to hit someone, even if he does 0 damage. That's kind of cute, right? Well, it is very cute. It's great. But not really. I mean, you use something like this in a situation where you all want to solo a Grand Hero battle map, because those Grand Hero battle characters, they don't have like ridiculous attacks that'll instantly kill you, and etc. etc. But Joseph Hardin, well, he's a ball of stats. So you give him 4 to all stats on top of that, and you give him regeneration on top of that. He works. Like, Joseph Hardin is a guy that I would build plus speed with, because he's actually a pretty decently speedy guy if you give him that, because then you can use his 4 to all stats, and you can use freed up A slot to give him more speed. And in which case, you can give him special fighter, and then the dude just kind of just heals all day and sits around. But, you know, none of this stuff is really new and particularly powerful. It's not like the man comes with Black Luna, you know? So that's one of the things that I have to be considerate about when it comes in terms of Gradius. If he had come with, -1 cooldown, see, that would be really nice for him, because then he can actually do Ether every other turn. But now he would have to do something else. He would have to settle for like something more damaging, like like Bonfire or Glacies or something like that. And, you know, it's not so bad. I mean, he still heals 7 at the end of it, so as long as he can overwhelm the enemy with his stats, he can probably sustain himself off to a good bit, and there won't be a problem for him. But that's 2018 we're talking about here. Now his stats doesn't mean shit. Oh yeah, 4 to all stats on top of his old what was it, like not 180, like 175 BS. Yeah, that's considerable, but it's not that great now. What he needs is a Resplendent. He needs a Resplendent that'll turn him into a real communist leader. Then we can talk about how great and wonderful he is. Like, Hector has a Resplendent, and he now has access to how many fun and exciting axes? I mean, we have the Spear Hector and all that. We have already gone through with that. But even the Axe Hector, the original one, I mean, he has his original Armads, which gives quick repopos. And then he now has that refinery for his Valentine's version, the Berserk Armads. So the man just has so many tricks that he can pull off. Whereas here, I have Joe Hardin here with 7 HP. Oh boy, damn, dude. Man, you're so cool and strong. But compared to fucking Hector, you're nothing. You're a little bug for him to crush. I mean, it's not, the color also doesn't help. But, I mean, Hector is just so goddamn spoiled. So sometimes I get really disappointed with these weapon refineries, and this is the result of this. Because it's like, they've been holding back for so long, and the power creep has gotten to the point where you're looking at, like, just walls of text every time a new character comes out. And yet, you're giving me 7 HP and 4 to all stats. Okay, dude, whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say. I mean, this is... What year are we in? This is like 4.5 years. I would expect, you to make my character a little stronger. I would say that out of all of them, honestly, it's only the Lobster who gets the good treatment. Everybody else, they're kind of just like, I guess it's a good refine. It works. It's fair. But, if you truly love these units, which I do, it's a bit of a disappointment. Anyway, I feel that I have gone on a long tangent on this for too long now. I think that I'm going to go and eat dinner and be upset about this. And the reason why I don't make so many videos these days is just that, it's just, I don't talk about these units. Every time I see them, they piss me off. Although I do really want to go and summon for that La Rochelle, though. The baby La Rochelle with the Kanto is kind of nice. I've always wanted a Kanto healer. Oh man, that'd be so great. But then again, you don't get your razzle-dazzle nonsense, so it's a bit of a trade-off. So, I mean, it's a fair trade-off, so I can't complain too much. Not to mention, I mean, her staff being able to cause a character to not be able to counterattack is very lethal. Especially, well, you know, when you tank, you stick your tank unit out. And when you stick your tank unit out, hey, guess what? They become the nearest unit. And this is exactly what will happen to these wonderful Distant Counter Refined people. They get fucked because they can't even counter because of the evil forces of La Rochelle. That is why they value Distant Counter way too much in this time of year, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, I understand. Like, a lot of characters really do need Distant Counter these days to do this and that. Otherwise, they're kind of sitting ducks. But I feel that, can't we give a little more? They gave Lobster a little too much. But can't we give, like, a little more to Joe Hardin? Like, Joe Hardin, man. 7 HP? Fucking shit, man. Like, we have fucking Claude with his, oh yeah, heal half of my max HP and shit like that. Or at the very least, you know, Halloween Grima and 1/3 HP. You know, that would be kind of cool. Hey, you know, 7 HP? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? We already have a C skill that destroys healing to begin with. I mean, it's already got a solid counter. Why are you doing this shit? Anyway, I'm done with that. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.